My name is Al, and I'm a Technical Solutions Architect for Cisco SD-WAN. Today, I'm going to show you how simple it is to integrate Cisco's SD-WAN solution with Cisco's Secure Internet Gateway solution, which is part of Umbrella. I'm going to show you the automated way of achieving this through some basic configuration in vManage. First, let's understand why we would want to do this. Let's consider a simple use case where a user at the remote branch needs to access an application on the internet. Traditionally, we would backhaul this traffic to a central location where we would apply a number of security controls like application-aware firewalling before allowing traffic to route to the internet application. However, with Cisco's SD-WAN, you can simply enable Direct Internet Access, or DIA, on the WAN to allow the user's traffic to drop off locally on the internet circuit for access to the application. This allows the user traffic to flow on a more direct and usually better performing path to the application. The challenge though is that this approach comes with trade-offs in security. Whilst there is scope for implementing on-box security controls, which can address some of the concerns, cloud-delivered security controls can more readily address the security needs of traffic destined for internet applications in a single, centralized way across all types of accesses, not just SD-WAN. This is where Cisco Umbrella SIG comes in. With the integration of Cisco's SD-WAN solution and Cisco Umbrella SIG functions, we can now automatically generate a pair of primary and secondary tunnels to the Umbrella cloud. The primary and secondary tunnels will be built to the closest Umbrella locations for optimum performance. The user's traffic will now be sent from the SD-WAN router to Umbrella over the primary tunnel. Once terminated in the Umbrella cloud, the user's traffic will be subject to the suite of security controls available and configured, where it will either be dropped or allowed to continue to the application based on the policy configured. If that primary tunnel fails, then traffic is automatically rerouted to the secondary DC via the secondary tunnel. Let's see this in action. We start off at the vManage dashboard, where we get an overview of the entire status of the SD-WAN network. From here, we'll go and look at the device template that has been assigned to the router we're going to be looking at. The device template assigned to my router is fairly basic. I have some WAN or transport interfaces defined, a service VPN and its associated interface, as well as NAT DIA. Looking at the device dashboard, under the interface section, I can see that users on my network are generating some traffic that is being routed directly out of Gigabit Ethernet 000. My SD-WAN overlay tunnel interface, tunnel 0, is not showing any traffic, so we know that what we're seeing on Gigabit Ethernet 000 is DIA traffic. Jumping over to the Umbrella network tunnel configuration, you can see that I only have one tunnel currently defined and running. This is for another router in the network that is using manual tunnel configuration. We'll see in a minute that once we apply the auto tunnel configuration, there will be more tunnels automatically appear here. Back on vManage, let's look at the SIG templates we need to apply to our device. First, the SIG credentials template. This template simply includes the Umbrella API keys that will be used by vManage to automatically create the tunnel endpoints for the router. You can use the Get Keys button to automatically pull this information from your smart account. No need for manual intervention. Next, we need to have the SIG template that defines the tunnel parameters we would like to use. Note that we can define a single tunnel or a primary and secondary tunnel. Scrolling across, we can take a look at all the available parameters that can be defined. Notice that we haven't specified any IP addresses or FQDNs for the tunnel endpoints. This will be determined dynamically based on the location of the router to optimize the performance of the tunnel. Further down, we just let vManage know which tunnel will be the primary and which will be the secondary. All that's required now is to add these two SIG templates to the device template. I've created a new device template to achieve this. You can see that I have added the SIG template and the SIG credentials template further down. With those changes now saved, we can go and apply this device template to our router. We do this by selecting the template and adding devices to it. Once we click the device on the left-hand side, we can look at the changes that will be applied to our router as a result of adding the SIG templates. When vManage has completed pushing the configuration to the device, our tunnels will be in the active state in Umbrella, and the user traffic flow will have changed to utilize the tunnels. To validate this, we will log back into the Umbrella network tunnel dashboard. Now we can see that there are two newly created tunnels and that both tunnels are in the active state. Looking at each one, we can see which data centers were chosen as the primary and the secondary termination points for the tunnels. Since this router is in Melbourne, it makes sense that both Melbourne and Sydney DCs were selected. Security policy can be applied to all tunnels automatically from the Umbrella dashboard by specifying the target of the policy to be all tunnels. For example, you can define a web policy that will be applied to all tunnels automatically as shown here. Now that our tunnels are up, let's check to make sure that our traffic is now being routed over them. We can see from the graph that our traffic is now being routed over the primary IPsec tunnel to the primary Umbrella DC. Our user data from the SD-WAN Edge router is now secured by Cisco Umbrella. Success!